Man, I've been having some troubles with my audio over here today, but that's just me. It seems like it happens every once in a while. This is Leland Best coming to you from getvocal.com over here at Wake Up West Coast.
Hey, sleepyhead, wake up!
It's lunchtime, which is just a play on words because over here on the East Coast, which I'm in Michigan along the Shiawassee River here in Corunna, we are already at the 12 o'clock hour. And all you folks over there on the West Coast, like those in Vegas and those in California, are just kind of getting things rolling at 9 a.m. So we like to come out here and tell you what's going on in the world. But a lot of times we don't get that right. Sometimes we get on some of these false news bandwagons that are out there, and you never know what the discussion's going to be. So let's explain to you why we do this out here at Get Vocal. If you don't know who I am, again, my name's Leland Best. I run a site called bcblive.com, which is my way of being able to help people understand how to build a live stream business or be able to get your message out as a business owner and get people to follow you and what you do. So it's more about the backstory. It's all about how you come together live on video, and you get to show your character that way. So rather than just pitching sales videos and pumping emails and shooting texts and IMs across the board, we like to come out here, sit down in a Foursquare and round robin a discussion so that we can talk about things. We're kind of sick of the back and forth hashtags, the back and forth exclamation points that are telling people how to think in social media nowadays. I don't like it. I know a lot of other people don't like it. So what we're trying to do is bump the curve a little bit and make things happen. We want to join the conversation. We want you to come in and talk about things. So today we're going to talk about something that seems to be coming through my news feed lately with like, these are the greatest thing in the world, and this is how everything should be, and this is what we should expect to find. Well, what are those? They're chatbots. And if you caught my little thing earlier, and I do want to get down here, so hold on. I want to get you guys so that I'm down in the corner as well. This is one that I didn't do before I started, so I wanted to get a little bit of a virtual output here so that I can actually come in the corner of my broadcast and let you see what's going on. I did not set that up this morning, so I apologize. Let me do this, but we're broadcasting on to Get Vocal. So if you want to be part of the conversation, if you're on Facebook Live watching this, great. You can see what's going on, and you'll be able to take part in the conversation because I can bring the comments up on stage with me. That's what we're really going to be able to do here. So let's just check real quick and see if anybody out there on social is playing in. I'm bringing in hashtags from Twitter too as well. So if you use the hashtag Get Vocal, we'll be able to get some drive going here at Get Vocal and get some people to recognize the platform. So please use that hashtag. Send a couple messages in that way as well, and we'll be able to see those on the screen. Those over at YouTube, over at best@youtube.com, or my channel at Leland Best. Go check it out if you want to see a larger scale, a little higher resolution version of what's going on here today. So let's get into the conversation. If you guys want to follow along, there's a link to the chatbot.fail article that I'm going through here today. So I want you guys to just kind of follow along with me, and then we'll discuss. And if you guys have something to say, as soon as I get rolling here, I'm going to open up the seats. I want to cover the first topic, and then we're going to ask people to participate in what we're doing here. That's what this is all about. So why do chatbots fail? And this is a brief story written by the UX Collective. If you don't know who they are, go Google them. You'll find out who they are and what they're all about. But basically, it's about the hot topic on chatbots. And I'm going to read through some of this at times. The rest of it, I'm just going to kind of skim over. But if you're arguing that these are the new websites, you're not really catching the whole drift of what a chatbot is. I'll bring my chatbot out momentarily and let you see some of how I run my bot and let you decide, am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? Who knows? And I would honestly ask anyone out there who is using chatbots to become part of this discussion. Show us your chatbot, give us a link. Let us play around a little bit and see how capable it is. They were touted to be the thing that would kill 99% of the apps out there, but we're not seeing that. And this is why. This is an example. You have this. Please select an option above. Okay, let me see the main menu. Please select an option above. Okay, let's see original options. So please select the option above. Go back to all the choices. Just please select the option above. This bot is stupid. So you get the point. Stupid bots don't really generate a lot of leads. And we find a lot of really wild stuff happening in some of these. This one here, what's the weather like this weekend? Are you on a boat? Because I was able to find many results for this particular location. What's the weather like in Brooklyn this weekend? Well, the weather in Brooklyn, New York is 46 and clear. This weekend, excusez-moi. Now that's something you don't expect to hear from a bot, but we have the ability to do that. Actually include non-typical conversations. Depending on how you build your AI, and have these normal say what conversations with your guests that come into your bot. And that takes a lot more programming, of course, but it gives you the opportunity to be a little more expressive with what it's capable of. So I'm going to follow along with the chats too off on the side. John Preto says over at Nerd World, they did an episode on chatbots. In fact, Colin wrote a chatbot that he'd unleashed on the Blab chat room. That's true. So hopefully Colin will show up sometime today. He's over there in California as well. So we'll see if he's up and about. This is another example of awesome. Thanks. Here are 5 things we think you'll dig. And you list your products across the screen that they can go buy these items. And can I see more? If you have your bot programmed properly and they don't like what they see on the first off, then maybe they'll find it on the next page. So you want to make sure you include multiple choice options in these things. Not everybody looks at things the same way. So you have to be able to address those people that come in with different attitudes, different mindsets, different questions. It's a lot of work to tolerate that type of questioning to your bot. So why do chat bots fail? Man, I'm on a roll today. No coffee, and I'm drinking this caffeine-free crap stevia stuff, so don't blame me. Why do chatbots fail? The idea of automating and scaling one-to-one conversations using technology appeals to lots of brands and services out there. In this process, designers play an important role at defining how each conversation is scripted and the behaviors users can expect when interacting with bots. But despite that, now that's what they want. That's what everybody should be doing, right? Sometimes chatbots fail to deliver the user experiences that are seamless, delightful, and efficient. And that's what's most important, because I know mine fails at times. I go out to check my bot when I realize it's not conversing with people. Sometimes it's the software. Sometimes an update went through. Sometimes I screwed up a code somewhere and I didn't put the right interface together to make it work right. So we really have to be careful to check our bots and make sure they're doing what they're doing correctly, right? Go in and investigate, find out what's going on. Why is it not getting the interaction that you want it to? So we're going to go through these one at a time. And as we do, I'm going to open up the seats right now so that people can come on in here and be part of this conversation. So come on board and we'll go through these one at a time and see what we can bring to the table. And I want to thank all of you for coming here today. We'll try to roll this out for about an hour and we'll go from there. So artificial intelligence, AI. Some people think it's auto intelligence. I look at it more like automated intelligence because yes, it's artificial. And the big thing that we realize right away is that we have to create this intelligence within the computer or the site so that people recognize it as being somewhat smart, right? And if it's not smart, Michael Lucy, what happens to the chatbot? So I want to welcome Michael Lucy out of Wyandotte, Michigan. He's a good friend of mine out here on Facebook and in person. He's been over to my house. We've talked and chatted about these things numerous times in the past. Mike, give me a mic check. How you doing?
Chickadee check, microphone check. How are you?
There we go. Beautiful. So tell us your story about chatbots, Mike. I know you've had your ups and downs with them in the past. And what was your final conclusion all in all in the end?
Well, let me ask you and everyone else. How many people out there have OCD? You got OCD?
I got a little bit of it, yeah.
All right.
I do.
Well, I've never been diagnosed, but I believe I do have it because I got hooked into chatbots.
Yeah.
But end of 2017.
Yeah, I think that's
and I spent a good part of a year building and developing them. So it was a great experience, very cool. Learned a lot about technology. At the end of the day, a lot of what you said is what I experienced is the usefulness of a chatbot. They're very powerful, very valuable in certain use cases, and in other use cases, it's a complete waste of time and money. So
and I'm kind of glad you brought up use cases. That's an important factor here, isn't it? That everybody's been kind of led to believe that chatbots will work with every business, that these are just the next big thing, that if you have a page on Facebook or you have a website connected with a message chat, that you need to have a chatbot because that's what's going to work for you. But where are you finding this working the best?
You know what it works great with is are people that already know who you are, and there's an expectation as to what exactly it is you do, and you already have that pre-built relationship, so someone can, off the street, a customer can roll in off the street, go into a bot, ask a question, get an immediate answer, or find the resources that they're looking for. The resources being a link to a web page,
absolutely,
an email address, and find that information real fast.
I totally get it.
So,
And that's kind of how
in
I've set mine
marketing
up.
terms, middle of funnel. Works great for middle and bottom of funnel.
Perfect. I like the way you said that because I've been more or less using mine as mine's more of an informational / lead capture type bot. Mine's set up so that if people have questions about live streaming, they can come out and actually interact with the bot, find the menu, and locate terms about live streaming that maybe not everyone's familiar with. And it answers questions by definition. It also shows some of my live videos. If they want to access a full featured video that's broadcasting live, they get a message through my message bot sometimes. And I say sometimes because I don't always share my videos through my message bot. It's just not my go-to source of sharing. So Alex says chatbots are on a small use in this growing field, but the real value is more complex, robotic process automation. Yeah, it's growing. We know that. So what would you recommend to people, Mike, that are new to chatbots and have never dealt with chatbots before, what they should consider before they even sign on to a chatbot software program or a website?
I believe I have some of the best advice out there for that. And that is this.
Okay.
Don't automate or build anything until you know what you're automating or building. I had $1 for every person that came to me and said, hey, Mike, what about this chatbot stuff? Can you help me build one? Or do you know someone that can build one? Mm-hmm. You ask them the question, why do you want to build a chatbot? And they're like, well, I want to get people into my inbox so I can do more business. And I'm like, that's the wrong reason to get a chatbot. Right out the gate, wrong reason.
Yeah.
A chatbot services people that are already in your inbox. It's not going to bring people to your inbox. So there's this misconception in the world amongst business owners, and there's actually people that disseminate this information. Shame on them. But there's this belief that a chatbot is this magical, wonderful tool that's actually going to attract people to your business, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, I agree. Hello, Paul. I see we're having a little difficulty. I know Elizabeth's here. Elizabeth, if you're on mic and on camera, just say something so that we know you're there. Are you? If you're not and you're having difficulty, up in the upper right menu, patty, the hamburger patty menu, there's a spot to get your broadcast settings for your camera and your mic. So exit out of the window. You may have to refresh even after that. If you're having trouble, remove the cookie for the camera and audio that pops up in your browser. You can manage your cameras, delete that. It'll refresh. You'll be able to pick it next time. So we'll see what happens. Paul, pleasure to have you on the show. What's going on, guy?
Hey, thank you. If you're hearing.
Yep. You sound good. Oh, little fuzzy though. You got
all right, Leland.
You got something going on with the. Go ahead, say something.
Yeah, I'll have to switch audio devices here. I'm just using the my laptop's mic. I'll switch to this mic here.
Yeah, that's fine.
This mic
sounds good. So, what do you got to say about bots, Paul? Are you familiar with them? Do you use them in your business at all? Or I know you're a manual kind of guy. You do a lot of stuff straight up as you. So. I wouldn't see you using a chatbot, do you?
I should use a chatbot. I should know more about chatbots. That's why I'm here to learn more about chatbots from the chatbot expert panel here.
Yeah. All right, Gabe, and we're trying to get Elizabeth in here as well. So, chatbot is not for your cheap salesperson. It's not. It's a very elaborate, well-defined, well-structured, created entity. This is not just push a couple buttons and go. Mike, tell a little bit about how deep you went with chatbots, because I thought I was getting deep just playing around with ChatFuel. You took ChatFuel to the deepest levels into connecting to databases and things like that. Can you just touch on for the Joe Sixpack what it entails when you take a chatbot to that level, what you're doing, how deep you can go with it?
The first thing I'd like to say is there's a prevalent term that's thrown around in the chatbot world, and it's artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. So it's very easy to get sucked into the trap of thinking that when you build a chatbot, you're actually building artificial intelligence. That's a little bit true, not a lot true. Yeah. And I think that's almost insulting to the people out there that have master's degrees and PhDs in artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, there is the capability to relatively easily introduce artificial intelligence into a chatbot. And that's what I spent maybe 3 to 6 months focusing on. Artificial intelligence in terms of voice and conversation. So when someone says something, that you have some kind of database on the back end to be able to respond in kind intelligently. Yeah. I took it one step further. I should say we took it. We built a community of sales professionals, and we found this to be useful, but not something I would recommend jumping into yet. And that is taking a sales conversation, turning it through putting it through an artificial intelligence engine and coming up with real sales conversations, which includes objections.
Yeah.
Chatbots cannot handle objections without artificial intelligence. Chatbots by nature are linear. You showed us at the beginning. Everything you showed us was a linear conversation.
Yep.
The minute veers off or takes a detour, the chatbot goes mellow. Its mind goes to jello.
That's true. And I just want to touch base. Hi, Elizabeth, by the way, before you go any further, Michael. I hate leaving people just sitting there staring at everybody while we're in a camera. So, Elizabeth, where are you at? You're in Texas, right? You're staying in town?
I am in Houston, Texas. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine. Thank you very much.
Because the little thing on the thing says you can't hear me. So I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
What kind of awesome camera do you have, Elizabeth?
Say again?
What kind of awesome camera do you have? Like
this is a Logitech 920.
Yep.
Really?
That's what I'm using.
Yeah.
What are you using is what I want to know, Mike.
I'm on the native laptop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had to mess. I know
sorry,
it's a sad thing, isn't it? I just want to give people an inside view of my chatbot. This is over at Chat Fuel, and what you'll see here, just basically, I'm not going to get into the depth of it, but I wanted people to see how artificial intelligence really works. In my case, it looks like it's typing. It brings up a Giphy of an animation of my chatbot, and then it even plays an audio file of my chatbot talking in an artificial voice, and then it gives it a menu of options, the things that it can do. Now, in order for me to make this menu work, I have to build blocks of data that tell the software what to do each time somebody types, or in some cases says some of these words. So in my case, I'm all about the live video stuff. So everything I have in my bot is defined by live video. You see questions, if you have questions about optical zoom, RTMP, how to stream or simulcast, it will answer those questions for you. But as far as setting up the AI goes, and a lot of people don't realize this, is you have to kind of anticipate every single stinking question that somebody's going to come up with on a chatbot. And you have to come up with the answers that are going to go with it. So not only is it just phone or call, or how do I call Leland, or mobile or telephone, you have to come up with words that people might use. And especially when there's language barriers, it's even more difficult. So this is just a rundown example of a very weak chatbot. So Elizabeth, chime in. Tell me what you think about these things.
I had a really super good point about anticipating. I'm on a lot of people's list, and I have access to a lot of really not great chat box. I think you should be happy because I didn't say the bad word that I was gonna say, Leland. I think you should be happy with me about that.
And she usually flies bombs all over the place, and it's okay. This is an open discussion. I don't ever censor anyone here, because if this show gets shut down for swearing or anything, I'll just broadcast somewhere else. I really don't care.
Well, on the topic of can I say the word if Elizabeth
sure,
doesn't want to say it?
Go for it.
Okay, on the topic of shitty chatbots, all right? One thing that
yeah, this is when I use this double phone. This is that stupid phone holder thing. Go ahead.
Developers of chatbots will get enamored with the shiny objects. And here's one thing that I have found to be true across the board. Buttons in a text conversation are not natural or not normal.
No.
Not normal.
No.
And when you get a message from one of these people that Elizabeth is talking about, and it's got a button in it, it's a very impersonal thing. A button is not personal.
True.
And to me and many other people in the world, it's an automatic turnoff. It really is. Definitely.
There's one individual who I won't name names, but if you ask me to, I totally fucking will.
Who's that again?
Dan Henry. There you go. He sends out, he tries to be socially relevant. Like he sent out a Game of Thrones message when during the season finale. He misspelled names.
Oh no.
And he totally did not. I don't think he even watched I don't think he even watches it. I don't. And he had a button.
And he had a butt.
So, I mean, if you're going to do this, it's got to be like it came from a real person, not
Sure.
from, sorry, Dan.
No, I think you nailed it. It's all about the real connection that you have with the business or the person that you're trying to connect with. And that's why we mentioned use cases earlier. And I want to touch on that for just a minute before we go any further. I clicked on a link of a chatbot that just showed up in my newsfeed today, and it was from Outgrow. And it was kind of interesting that as you go down the page here, it kind of summates in real time, or I should say what we're going to do here. Let me move this over a little. My browser never fits this window here. This is a perfect example of where chatbots would grow. Legal service chatbot, insurance assistant chatbot, real estate chatbot, or travel destination chatbot. These are the 4 hottest things that a chatbot would work with. But Michael's shaking his head down there, so I want to ask him why. Why are you shaking your head, Michael?
Go back up to the top of the list. Now scroll down. Let's go through those one by one, please.
Yep, that's what I want to do.
Legal. Agree. I totally agree. I've never done it, but I agree. What do you say, Elizabeth?
Services, that's ideal for getting them into your system and them on the phone, because that's what you ultimately want with a legal service.
And if you consider like the standard website in 2019
Horrible.
for a law office, you go there, little pop-up appears, picture of a nice looking girl or guy, and they say, how can I help you? And you put something in, and then you get a real person, and it's just a call center, right?
Yeah.
So you start asking legal questions, and they say, sorry, I can't answer it. Sorry, I can't answer it. I'll have Mr. Fishbein call you. I'll have Mr. Smith call you. But they're the conduit, and they're very skilled. They're very good. And I think a chatbot can fill that role.
Good point. So insurance, you were in the insurance, you're still in the insurance market, right, Mike? You're dealing with that type of stuff on a regular. So it's got to be working for you there, right?
I retired as a professional chatbot builder, and I went on to become a life and annuity sales rock star.
Right?
Or wannabe rock star, I should say.
Want to be right.
So insurance is a big question mark. Big question. That's all I'm going to say.
Sounds good. What do you think would be the best use case, Elizabeth?
I mean, I don't see how
Mike,
If you've got
that's your
insurance-
audio that we're getting. Sorry, we're getting feedback on Mike's audio over there.
okay. So it's insurance, travel agency. What was the other lawyer? And
Real-
what was the other
Basically,
one?
real estate and travel. Yeah.
I don't. And again, so my realm of expertise is book and coach and thought leader marketing.
Yep.
But I don't see how these wouldn't be great fits unless you really screw up your chatbot. So Michael, maybe you can tell me a little bit more about how you can screw up that chat box so badly that it doesn't work for these industries.
Unfortunately, I can't share my screen.
That's true. What do you need me to share, Mike? Where do you need me to go?
No,
Or somewhere I
it's
can-
probably an
can
ex-customer or client would get pissed
Oh,
off.
okay.
But
Gotcha.
so real estate doesn't work, and we built a lot of real estate bots. And I know people that build a lot of real estate bots. And I'll be honest with you, is we all have this edge to us where we think what we do is better than everyone else. Like we all feel that way. So it would get discouraging when we were building bots and we weren't getting the results that we wanted to, or we weren't getting the results that we promised.
Mhm.
And then I now work with someone as on a friendship basis, and they hired someone to do the chatbot. And that experience enlightened me, because now I see that it's a common problem. The common problem is real estate. The standard in real estate is you suck people into a chatbot with a shiny object, a nice looking house. So you advertise or post or you promote to a relevant audience. You say, look at this wonderful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Perfect for the starter family. If you're between the ages of 30 and 40 and you have a kid, this is great. They get into the chatbot. Number one, they don't even know how or why they got there. They're just like hit over the head. They click the button on an ad. Our instincts for the last 20 years was you click an ad and you go to a web page.
Yeah.
That's what we're trained to feel and experience. And now people click and they land in Messenger. So half of the people are already on the defensive. All right, how did you get my name? Take me off your list. I could show you streams of these conversations.
Oh.
So half the people are conversations, you have to get them out of the way and then focus on the next 50%. Then the next problem is the over-engineering of chatbots that happens. Everybody's guilty of this. I was guilty of it. Leland, you're guilty of it.
I know.
Elizabeth, I don't know about you. Is we want to pre-qualify and ask questions till we're blue in the face. And the reality is it's the goldfish scenario. Like, you literally have 7 seconds to get what you want out of that person before they're gone.
Pretty much.
So the sweet spot for real estate, anyone listening out there, you want to build your own chatbot. The sweet spot for real estate is ask 3 questions. At the very most 5. And that includes what's your name, what's your phone number.
Oh, yeah.
Anything more than 5, you're done. You're cooked. Anything 3 is the sweet spot.
And not only that, but a lot of people forget to tie in the live chat to their bot so that they can take over the conversation. Because when you have that feature built in and you see somebody chatting on your bot with your bot, I just did this the other day. It was hilarious. I had to stop in on somebody who was working through my bot. And I said, hey, this is Leland here. I'm just going to jump in and say, hi, I saw you chatting with my bot and want to let you know I'm available. So let's have a conversation. And the guy kept talking like it was my bot. I was like, no, wait a minute. It's me. Really. I'm talking to you. Let's get together and chat. And I think people have somewhat been brainwashed by this idea of bots not really being the connecting point to the person themselves, which I think if it's used right, they should be a direct connection to the person themselves. But again, there's those weak bots that are out there just to drum up leads, just to drum up information.
What is Gary Vaynerchuk? I live my professional life by one statement made by Gary Vaynerchuk. The most profound statement I think ever for a digital person, and that is, the internet and social media is a gateway drug to one-on-one relationships.
That's right. Good call.
If you're not using digital to build one-on-one and you're trying to mass market to the masses and your name isn't Gary Vaynerchuk or it isn't LeBron James, it's like you're setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely. So you mentioned
live chat is perfect.
You mentioned shitty chatbots, Elizabeth. Let's go on to number 3. Some of them lack transparency. So what are you seeing in some of these bots that is lacking the most? I know in this case, we're talking about the expectations of the users right up front. Should they know or should they not know? A lot of people ask this question, that it's a bot. I say yes, they should know it's a bot. They shouldn't think it's you trying to have a conversation with them. They should know it's an artificial intelligence. So take it from there and see what we do.
So all of the chatbots that I've created, the first message has always been a variation on, hey there, I'm Martin Bot, an artificial intelligence that's going to help you with your problems.
Okay.
I've seen some really horrible and frankly misleading chatbots where it feels like you are talking to a person, but the person cannot answer your questions. And so you just get frustrated and you're like, it's like you're talking to tech support, but tech support isn't understanding you. And you can't press 0 because there is no 0 and there's not a real person. So your only hope is to try to break the bot logic until it gets you a real person.
Now that's something else Mike and I made sure we built into was a back out so that we had a way to say, okay, I'm done with you. I don't want to chat with this bot anymore. I just want to leave a message or leave my name and phone number or whatever. Just call me back later kind of thing. And it seemed to work. Again, I don't use mine that much. And a lot of people tend to fail. Oh, Nazim's got a question. Where was it? I see him over there. I don't see your question. Where'd you type it from? Are you over on Facebook Live, Nazim? I'm trying to pull in feeds, but there's nothing coming in right now. So I assume no one was talking over there on Facebook. No, I got nothing. What's your question, dude? Lay it on us. Maybe he was preempting. I think he was preempting. If you want to quite, I need to get Nazim in here from Italy. He's over there in Milan. Well, could be hanging over in Bologna today on the coast. Who knows? So let's move on then. Since basically it comes down to the transparency part's pretty straightforward. And in this case, it goes, bonjour. How would you like to describe the term bot to your grandma? My grandma's dead. All right, thank you for your feedback. That's like the worst F up I've ever seen in a friggin' bot. It's like, what are you supposed to do with that? Number 4. They don't understand context unless it's given to them.
Can I ask Liz a question?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Let's go back to your example again.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Got it.
So, like the whole concept of persona, is that what you're talking about? Or do you think persona is a good thing or bad thing or what?
For the bots that I create, because I create them for individual brands, people brands, I think I've gotten some interesting messages through social media for these people. I had one dude who would send this guy a report of the weather every day in the Philippines. So it's super important to make sure that they understand that they are not talking to the person that they think they are talking to, just to set those expectations. So, I usually name them like, John bot, Martin bot. Mm-hmm. So people understand you are talking to a bot. Please don't tell Martin bot about the weather.
So we're on here bashing bots, and I don't know if bashing bots is the right term or what we should be doing. I guess the conversation is like there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. Here are some things to think about.
Exactly. And that's what I'm covering here, because this bots fail just happened to come across my path the other day. And I didn't even have a theme for the show today. I was just going to come out here and wing it. But it came to my attention that we were talking bots the other day as well, amongst a few of us. And I just keep seeing these things in the news feed saying this is like the next greatest thing. But every time I run into one, it's like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So they don't understand context. We covered that aspect. So what we're doing here is trying to show people what does need to be fixed, what does need to work properly in order for a bot to work well. This is a good example. Here's one of those button things where you've got get directions, book a table, tell me more. You got all kinds of clicks to make. On a cell phone, it covers the page. You got to be able to pick a button or you can't do shit. So let's go down from there. Number 5. There's only 2 more after this, and then we'll wrap it up for the day because we're halfway through this. I think we can pull this up. They don't communicate with existing business systems. Let me just read this so you understand what this means. Another common temptation when building a chatbot is trying to recreate functionality from scratch. Let's say you're creating a bot to book appointments in a spa. If your chatbot does not communicate with the spa's existing appointment management system, that means extra work for the business owner to handle requests coming through the new channel. Ultimately, lack of consistency for the user. And this is kind of where I was talking about databases with Mike earlier and the way he integrated his bot with his actual acquisition point. So tell us a little bit about that. Mike, I'll let you take it first and then Elizabeth. I'm still trying to get Nazim to ask his question over there, but he says he's got a terrible connection. So we'll have to wait on him until he gets off the train. So it's part of a larger ecosystem formed by multiple touch points. It's between customer and brand. And by creating that silo that you're bringing your customers into, you have to have an out point of where that data is going. So take it away, Mike. What do you do with it?
I'm most familiar with ChatFuel, and I'm probably steadily going into the minority. A lot of people are very fond of ManyChat. They're both great. Both platforms allow you to integrate with third-party systems.
One thought before you start that, because I want to say this. I found this article just today, 10 best chatbots of 2019. ManyChat and ChatFuel aren't even on this list. So I just wanted to say.
They're not considered chatbots. They're chatbot building platforms. I wouldn't expect them to be on that list.
Okay. So go ahead. Continue.
It's very easy. So the word integrate, you start using these fancy terms, people go, oh, that's beyond me. I can't do it. It's very simple. It really is very simple. So you ask someone, what's your name? They give you your name. Great. What's your email? They give you your email. There's even tools and bots within Facebook where they can press a button, say, will you please verify your email? Is it michael_lucy@hotmail.com? It's just sucking in your native Facebook email. So they just click the button. Yes, it is. All right, great. Is this your phone number? They, again, click a button. Now you take name, email, phone number with relatively simple tools that anyone can do. And don't let the term integrate scare you. You can send it to your database, CRM, newsletter platform, whatever it is. And it can be done very, very, very easily. Anybody can do it.
Elizabeth,
okay.
I'm going to disagree with you, man. I'm going to disagree with you. Because I make this assumption all the time. I assume everyone is as smart as I am. And bless their hearts, they're not, and that's why they hire us.
Word.
If you don't have those integrations set up just right, you have a ton of customer work and customer dissatisfaction you're eventually going to have to deal with. Let's just say you have the one time where Facebook burps and it doesn't send you that information. And now Joe Smith is wondering why the hell nobody's here to rub his back for his massage.
Right.
And now you got to deal with that. So
I feel you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, thank you. You can.
It's got to be done right.
Yeah.
So if you are someone that is a DIY person and you do it yourself, number one, make sure you test it thoroughly. And number two, maybe reach out to a professional and get a second opinion. And maybe there's something missing.
Good point. Good point.
Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid.
I have two great examples of chatbots integrations. Leland, can I share them?
Yes, please.
And one of them is me, so it's a humble brag. And the other one is I've seen it in action. My humble brag is, and there's a video out there in the internet of us doing it. So we integrated a chatbot, a real estate chatbot, with a CRM on the back end. So someone went through a flow, 4 or 5 questions, remember? They get to the end of the flow, email, phone, go. So the minute that someone says, yes, that's my phone number, that's the last qualifying question. And that triggers the data being sent from the chatbot. And it goes along this little path through some kind of middleware, whatever middleware you're using, Zapier, Integromat, there's a bunch of them. Then it lands in the CRM. Then in this specific CRM, it kicked off an auto dialer to the lady at the call center. So we did this all on a video. We're like, all right, check this bot out. They go through the flow, hit submit. Yes, that's my phone number. Within 3 minutes, my phone rang with the lady on the back end. So there are some pretty powerful things that you can do with chatbots. The second thing is, I did not do this. I saw it and I almost started drooling. And are you familiar with Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah.
And have you ever seen an automobile in the marketplace?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a handful of vendors in the world that are partnered with Facebook that will take dealership inventory and put them in the marketplace. You and I can't do it. The average dealership can't do it. You have to reach out to these special partners. Once that, I'll call it template, allows the dealership to put that vehicle into the marketplace, there's special buttons that go along with it. One of them is view on web and send a message. If you click send a message, a prescribed set data is sent to that dealership's messenger inbox. And I have seen someone write an API that once that prescribed message is received, it extracts the VIN number out of there, and it starts spitting out all the information about the vehicle right there in front of that person, all from a simple click in the marketplace. That was very cool.
Awesome. Nazim, welcome to the broadcast. Nazim Beltran from Milan, Italy. Gentleman who works pretty tightly. You've worked with some of this automated stuff before, but not necessarily chatbots. So what's your question, Nazim? What you got?
My question is right now is just, I'm wondering about how chatbots can integrate with CRM systems. If there's such a thing, is it a difficult task to do, or you need to tie in with APIs and do stuff like that?
And I'm going to let Mike and Elizabeth address these, but just so you know, go back because we just discussed this part of this while you were trying to connect. But we'll let Mike and Elizabeth both of them. Go ahead.
Elizabeth,
would you like to cover that? Is there an API that you can build? I mean, are you working off API coding, or is this something you've got to get a little more involved in and actually do? I know I've dealt with Dialogflow, I've dealt with ChatFuel, and I've had to include the WP chat plugin for my WordPress site in order to get everything to work together. And then you have to actually drop code up in the heading as well to make things function. So it is a little elaborate, but are there other smoother ways to do this, Mike, or is that pretty much the standard flow that you have to follow?
Bots will connect with any API, whether they're already prescribed available APIs in the world. The middleware, Zapier is incredible. If you're familiar with Zapier, just log into Zapier, create a Zap, and look at all of the integrations you have. There's IFTT. Like I've seen someone build a bot that kicked off a popcorn maker from halfway across the world using IFTT.
That kind of covers this
topic. Whatever it is. So yes, it can integrate with any APIs. And then the super nerds of the world, they're like, all right, well, this API out there doesn't serve my needs, so I need to recreate a wheel, but I'm going to make it a really awesome wheel. And they'll build their own APIs, and I've seen some incredible implementations of those as well.
Excellent.
What about you, Elizabeth? What do you think? Have you seen anything different?
Most of what I've seen has been done through Zapier, or if somebody has gone in and coded all that themselves with the API. And
Gotcha.
That's not my pay grade. I pay people to do that for me, so please don't ask me.
Yeah, I'm just wondering that before we start proposing it to the company, I have to make sure that it's a seamless operation, that they don't come back and say this is not working.
Gotcha. And that makes, and that's kind of covers this number too, with the try to handle too many things at once, right? Don't make your bot do too much crap at one time. Try to streamline it a little bit. Make it be specific to your niche.
You mean it can't make coffee?
Well, I can make popcorn. We know that. So. All right, let's move on. We got one more here, and this should probably wrap it up. We got 20 minutes to go. Anyone else wants to hop in, feel free. If you're out there on Facebook, leave us a message because I can bring it up on the screen. Number 7, they lack proper human escalation protocols. Another one. I'll just spell it out for you. When technology fails, and we may have lost Mike to a glitch. When technology fails, users still want to be able to rely on human beings to help them solve their problems. Still, very few chatbots have an escalation workflow in place to let a human take over, which I mentioned earlier, the conversation when the bot's unable to help. The result, bots that leave users hanging, sometimes even more frustrated than when they started the conversation with the brand in the first place. So obviously that one-on-one personal communication with the brand or the person under the brand is what we want. Elizabeth, just kind of wrap up your thoughts on that when communicating with brands or brands communicating with their customers, whichever direction you'd like to take that in.
So,
and, we'll kind of close up from there.
What people forget is that your brand is not just the logo. Your brand is not just some colors. Your brand is not just some stupid stock art. Your brand is how people feel about dealing with you or your company. If you piss people off, and I'm pointing, I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen. You can't see what I'm pointing at, but
That's
you
true.
can see the mousey is right underneath lacking proper human escalation protocols. If people get so pissed off at your brand that they no longer want to do business with you because they can't find a person, you're going to lose business. That's just it. Remember the human when you're building your chatbot.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. So what does that mean for us designers? And that's what she's getting at. So Paul, you said you were here to learn something. Designing for conversational interfaces represents a big shift in the way we're used to thinking about interaction. Chatbots have less signifiers and affordances than websites and apps, which means words have to work harder to deliver clarity, cohesion, and utility for the user. It is a change of paradigm that requires designers to rewire their brain, their deliverables, and their design process to create successful bot experiences. And that's all we're here for, is to try and let people know a lot of these bots out there aren't working. So if you want to follow anyone that's good at it, one is RJ Redden, for one. If you don't know RJ Redden, go check her out. She knows chatbots. Mike Lucy's another one. I'm sure Elizabeth has connections to people who know their chatbots inside and out. Make sure you find a professional. Just don't go trying to build a chatbot on ManningChat and think that a few pieces of text is going to make your chatbot work and build your leads. So, Paul, you got anything to say to this? And I'm going to let Mike wrap it up, and then I'm going to close out.
No, just if anybody knows where I could get started from bare bones, put the URL in the chat where I can just go get a chatbot, put it on my website, start getting going with this.
Yep. And like Mike mentioned, this is one thing to consider. Know what it is you want to build your chatbot for before you even build it. Can you do it manually in the same process, same way, and you want to streamline that, fix it up, make it tight, make it concise? Yeah, that's what chatbot's for. If it's just to have a chatbot, no, I wouldn't say go build a chatbot just to have one. So, Mike, wrap it up for us. Give us your last thoughts on this whole chatbot mess, and I'm going to close it up.
I'm going to promote some people. Number one, I'm going to promote Elizabeth. Sounds like you do. Do you actively work with people on building chatbots? Is that part of what you do? Is your coaching?
I do. I'm not very particularly fancy, but I do customer service ones for my clients.
All right. So if you need help with customer service, you reach out to Elizabeth.
There you go.
I'll throw a couple other names out there because people are asking, where do I start? Where do I go? Who do I reach out to? Andrew Demeter, Andrew Demeter. He's like the face of Chat Fuel. He's got incredible videos on starting up building your very first chatbot. And Andrew's a master of making it very simple and easy to understand. He's got a lot of video and content out there. Next is if you want heavy duty, you need some heavy lifting. There's a guy out there named Alfredo on Facebook. The guy's a programming beast. He will build you any, what?
Who was that again?
Alfredo, Frido. Edl.
Okay.
And he builds in both platforms and other ones. And he's a programming beast.
Gotcha. All right. We'll keep an eye out for him and go from there.
He's one of the best. And then two other people I've kind of shout out to and who to follow. One is, gosh, can't remember his name. He's from San Diego. Pete Lisowski. Pete Lisowski, Lisoski. And he's a psychologist. And he's a master at creating personas and how to take a persona and make a living, breathing thing out of a chatbot. So he works at a kind of a high level, but he's a great person to follow and get to know.
Cool. All right. Well, awesome.
So those are some names I would follow.
Well, I hope everyone got a little bit of take home from all of this in respect to chatbots and how they function, why they're out there, what people are using them for, and why you shouldn't really have one unless you know what you're doing with it. I want to thank my guests, Elizabeth Hamilton, Michael Lucy, and of course, Paul over here from Get Vocal hanging out with us as well. Paul, what's your last name again? I always forget your last name.
Walhus, Walhus.
Thank you very much. And if you don't know Paul, he gets around a lot in the Austin, Texas area. So you might want to connect with Elizabeth. You guys are actually really close to each other. So you guys might be able to work together. All right, guys, I'm going to go to single screen here. So if you guys want to jump out, or all you got to do is take them three dots off to the side, leave the seats. Thanks again for coming along with all of my guests out here, like Gabe, and we got Alex, we've got Joseph Burke, Nazim, Badges. Looks like a couple other people showed up at the last minute. So if you didn't catch all of the broadcast, please go back, take a look at the replays here on Get Vocal. They are available if you'd like to get your hands on it on my page here at getvocal.com/Leland Best. So welcome to my jungle. And you'll see that on the page where you can find all your replays. For the fact that I come out here every Monday at noon Eastern to do Wake Up West Coast. It's lunchtime. We've just started season 3. This is episode 1 of that season. So you can catch some of last season's shows out there where we were more focused on networking. This season, I think I'm going to open the doors up and get a little bit crazier. We're going to talk about systems, services, ways to build things. I'm going to be dealing with eBay and dropshipping along with some of the social aspects that we work with in social media, but we're going to get a little bit off the ball. So this is it. Come back next Monday, 12 Eastern, Wake Up West Coast, where we'll just wake up and have a conversation. Join us next week. Take care, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Oh, yeah, they closed G+, by the way.